you want to have kids and you're serious about it, I would live somewhere that doesn't hate fathers. And I don't know where that is in Europe. The biggest issue that most guys have is they end up watching her make up shit so that she can have custody and then steal his wealth through the government while she alienates him from the kids and tell the kids that he's a piece of garbage. And look, if you bought a house together and you got to untie the knot, give her half. Who cares? Whatever. You can make more money. But your kids are a lot more precious than a house. Your kids are a lot more precious than who's going to fight over the snowblower, on that list of assets sort of thing. Let me grab Lobo over here and then we'll get Kizza and then we'll wrap up. So Lobo, you're up, buddy?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep. What can I do for you? What's up, man?
Hello, greetings from Spain. I am a big fan of your work. I listened to your show a long time.
Cool.
I read the book in English, but now it's translated into Spanish.
Yeah, the book's in Spanish now too. Yeah.
Yes, it is called El Alfa Liberado. It's excellent.
Sí.
My question is, so I think that all of the advice you give in your book, in your channel, is perfect at individual level.
Okay.
But I'm wondering, in a big picture, I think that we would all agree that for a healthy society, people need to have families. Women need to have lots of children. It's better if they have children younger. And right. I think it's better for children to grow up in a house with two parents who are together, who have a good relationship. And so given how dangerous it is in West to get married, to find certain woman who is young, who has all green flags, who want to be mother, who cannot, take you to cleaners in divorce court. I wonder, do you see any roadmap to a more social solution in the developed world or in the Western countries? I want to know your opinion.
Well, I don't know what the deal is in Spain, but I'll say this because there's an organization in the US called the National Parents Organization, and every year they put out a report card and they rate every single state on how friendly it is to fathers in the divorce process. And you can go Kentucky, Florida, California right now, and I think Michigan, I'm not sure. But one of the things I would do is if you want a family, which is what it really just boils down to, because you're talking about kids and raising them, together. In the event that she changes her mind about you, in the event that she goes rogue or she read Eat, Pray, Love or some shit and wants to untie the knot and leave you, you don't have to fight over custody because it's default 50-50, right? Like it's assumed that both parents will share custody. And that's the biggest complaint and the biggest issue that most guys have is they end up watching her make up shit so that she can have custody and then steal his wealth through the government while she alienates him from the kids and tell the kids that he's a piece of garbage and like he pays for the whole process. So that's the biggest problem. I mean, look, if you bought a house together and you got to untie the knot, give her half. Who cares? Whatever. You can make more money. But your kids are a lot more precious than a house. Your kids are a lot more precious than who's going to fight over the snowblower, on that list of assets sort of thing. So that's what I would be doing is if you want to have kids and you're serious about it, I would live somewhere that doesn't hate fathers. And I don't know where that is in Europe. I don't do the research and all that thing. Like I'm just sharing an obvious piece of knowledge that I've acquired. Most of my audience is in the States anyway. So that's what I would be doing. Like if I was living in North America, I would be finding a way to either get to Kentucky or Florida. I don't really like California because it's too woke over there. So I'd say Kentucky or Florida and just be like, this is where I'm going to do things. And if it doesn't work out, I tried, but at least I don't have to fight over the kids. I just have to give her half the shit. There's really no other way aside from just avoiding marriage altogether. You have to be somewhere where laws don't hate fathers. So you'll have to do your own research because the world is large and every country is different. And within every country, there's states and provinces. And in many cases, the laws in states and provinces can be different from what the federal law is. So the best bet is if you live somewhere, I would talk to a lawyer. Like I would call up a family lawyer in your phone book and look for a guy that's rated. He might be $500 for an hour and say, I need an hour of your time, pay him $500 and say, look, I live in this county. You're familiar with family law. You've been practicing for X number of years. What's the best way for me to minimize the risk of marriage here? I don't want to lose access to my kids. I don't want to lose all of my shit. like women are unpredictable, man. They can, and again, like I mentioned you before to the guy in Finland, over time, what tends to happen is guys stick it out more out of duty, and women tend to give you less. So you end up working harder for more. Sorry, you end up working harder, giving more, but you get less back in return with a risk factor that goes up. Because as you spend more time together, your obligation to her in most family law jurisdictions will be higher, right? Like in some places of the world, like in California, if you've been married for more than 10 years, it's lifetime alimony, right? There's people that I can't remember who it was, but there's somebody that was telling me in the state that they were married for like 6 years and they have to pay alimony for 17 years. Like, how does that even make sense that you have to maintain somebody's lifestyle that's not even sleeping with you anymore for another 17 years? Like, I thought men and women were equal, right? But this is the world that we live in. We're not, right? Women are protected. They still do these things through family law. And as a function of hypergamy, because women always want the best they can get, they're leveraging family law to get, more out of the guy. So your best defense is going to be a prenup and living where family law doesn't hate you. That's really it. I mean, that's what it boils. Like, I hate to say it, but that's the amount of work that you have to do to have a family today if you don't want to screw yourself over.
Yes, is correct. And you've talked about this on your channel, in your books, and I encourage everybody to read the book, to see the channel, because all of this advice is excellent, 100% correct. My question was, at the big picture, I guess I would ask you, are you optimistic that maybe in some future we would be in a society in which most families are healthy and
I
normal?
think that the pendulum is swinging. I actually recorded a video about this yesterday in my car, which is still with my editor, so it hasn't been published yet. But I'm optimistic that the pendulum is swinging in a better direction now that Trump's got technically his third term. It's only a second, but he should have had the the last election. That's a different story. But I think he's choosing better peers, better cabinet, better men and women to lead the areas that are important. Like, we're seeing the media interview certain people. Like, there was a guy, Matt something or another, I can't remember what his position was, something to do with legal. I'm not American, sorry. So, you guys in the comments can correct me, but this reporter was asking him, well, you made these hurtful remarks about women in front of abortion clinics, basically saying that they're gross and no guy would want to be with them anyway. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then she goes, well, isn't that offensive? And he goes, be offended. I don't care. And that's it. Matt Gates, I'm pronouncing it wrong, but you get the idea. It's like, I think that this could potentially turn the tide and swing the pendulum in the other direction. And I believe Canada is going to follow suit in the election in 2025 in the fall, which is due. Trudeau has to go. I think you'll probably see it in the UK at some point. The British people are clearly getting pissed off with the woke agenda and the amount of refugees that they're taking in, and displacing other people, and the amount of taxes they're trying to raise to pay for all that shit, which means that it should spread through most of Western Europe.
With Podemos
but it's going to take years, man. It's going to take 10, 20 years for it. And it's got to be a consistent pattern of people so fed up with the bullshit that they keep voting for logic and reason, men and women. Right. And if that happens over a long enough period of time, sure, things will get better. I mean, I could be dead by then. You could be dead by then. Right. But that's going to be for, our kids, the ones that are out there right now that are up and coming to benefit from. So there's no fast and easy, solution. The only solution today, as you live right now, is to make logical, informed decisions to live somewhere that doesn't hate dads.
100%. And one more very, very fast question. When can we expect the Unplugged Alpha 2? And more or less, what can you give us a small sneak preview of part of the contents?
I've been feverishly writing away for the last few weeks, really indulging in some banger fucking content, if I'm being honest. What I did the last time when I wrote the book was I started sharing ideas and topics in the chapter before the book was even released. And I don't know that that was the best idea, because some people were saying, well, now that I got the book, you've already talked about this sort of thing. It's like, Yeah, I did. So I'm going to be careful this time about giving too much, but I'm certainly going to give. I'm that guy that sort of just shares shit that's on my mind. I don't hold back on stuff. So you'll see some stuff coming soon. I'll leave it at that.
Excellent. Well, when it comes out, I will read and put a 5-star review on Amazon. And thank you very much for everything you do.
Thanks, Lobo. See you, buddy. Take care. Wow, that's so cool. We had South Africa, Finland, Spain. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the Courses tab. Newer to the channel? Hit subscribe.